Good afternoon, I'm Karen Holmes Ward. It's all about connecting communities through art. Boston Landmarks Orchestra features composers from across the spectrum. 46% of the pieces performed since 2015, in fact, were written by composers of color and women. And joining us now is music director and conductor Christopher Wilkins. How are you today, Christopher?
I'm great. Wonderful to be with you. Thank you.
So good to have you here today. So let's talk about some of the orchestra's unique programming and the works by classical composers of color that you feature.
Well, there's several different ways we could talk about it. One is just to talk about what we call the Western canon in general. The usual suspects are all white, all male, all deceased for the most part. And it's a shame because there is so much more richness even already existing in orchestral music that we don't normally think of. So in the 1930s, there were four really important composers of color who wrote for orchestras. Three of them wrote symphonies. William Grant Still in 1930 wrote his first symphony. Florence Price in 1932 wrote her first symphony. And William Dawson in 1934 wrote his first and only symphony. He wrote it for none other than Leopold Stokowski and the Great Philadelphia Orchestra. Stokowski, that many people will know from the Fantasia film, the 1940, the first one.
The Waltz of the Flowers.
Yeah, the Waltz of the Flowers. And The Sorcerer's Apprentice with Mickey Mouse calling the brooms and to deliver water. We performed that on our opening concert on the Esplanade. We're going to perform William Dawson's Negro Folk Symphony on our final, or one of our two final programs later in August. This is a really important work, American work, because it was a critical time, sort of during the Harlem Renaissance, when there was the thought that Black artistry was essential to the growth of American music, even to the idea of Americanness. And this is familiar to us. We know it from the development of jazz, that it became so much a dialogue between cultures. And we know it from baseball, and over time, the Negro Leagues making their way into combining with the major leagues. We know it from rock and roll. I think of the 1619 podcast and Wesley Morris's amazing description of this. I think it's the third episode of how over time, what groups, white, brown, or Black, when they wanted to sound more American, they looked to Black artists to give it that sound. A composer who understood this from the beginning was Antonin Dvorak, strangely enough. Czech composer, came to New York and said, it's really in the Negro spirituals that America finds its soul. And this is what William Dawson did. He took three spirituals and developed an extraordinary symphony out of it that took the world by storm. In 1934, they took it to Carnegie Hall, standing ovations, shouting. It would be hard to think of any American symphony that had that kind of enthusiastic reception when it was unveiled. And then it disappeared.
Why do you think it disappeared? And why has Landmarks and you been determined to bring it back?
Well, I was going to say, and this is in a way a sad thing, we believe, giving the Boston premiere of this important work, a work that I think of as a candidate for the greatest American symphony ever written. Why did it disappear? I don't know that I'm even qualified to say that. I think that's really up to cultural historians to try to understand what happened. But there was a move in modernism toward things that were essentially new and that were, I don't know, maybe overly refined, because a lot of the music that displaced these pieces are no longer heard either. They're not attractive. All three of the pieces that I mentioned are rooted in folk song, in jazz to some extent, in American popular music, and it makes them eminently listenable today. So that's sort of a historic answer, looking into history to your initial question.
Christopher, explain how community collaboration is at the heart of Landmark's success.
Right. Well, music is a collaborative art, first of all. It's about many people coming together to make music, but also for other people. And in the orchestral field, we've really been so narrow to the point that we just can't continue the way we've been doing things. It's really been about a narrow segment of the population performing for its peers in the audience. And I think that the first thing to say is that it's what we play, it's who plays it, and who we play it for. And it goes in that order. In other words, who we play it for, the audience will come if their neighbors and family and friends are on the stage. So collaboration gives us a chance to do that with colleagues, with performers of all ages, all backgrounds, and all tastes in music. So for example, one of the really exciting projects that we're starting this summer is with a wonderful Puerto Rican-born cuatro player. The cuatro is a kind of small four-string guitar, Fabiola Mendez. And Fabia is a world-class artist. She's widely recognized everywhere as just being an outstanding proponent of her instrument, a great teacher, and a great colleague. So we're forming a collaboration that Fabi will lead in collaboration with the Hyde Square Task Force in Boston's Latin Quarter. And she's going to work with children who are part of the Hyde Square Task Force to learn about their own heritage, if they happen to be Puerto Rican, to learn how to write music, to learn something about the cuatro and orchestras. And over time, using their own musical imaginations, they're going to develop a work which Fabiola Mendez can perform with the Boston Landmarks Orchestra and with some of those children who've written it, and with dancers who are involved in the program, and so forth and so on, drummers. And it will create, I think, just sort of a spectacular onstage experience for them. But I think it will change who's in the audience.
This sounds it sounds so exciting. You have a great summer lined up. Every summer is very exciting for the Landmarks Orchestra. Christopher Wilkins, thank you for joining us today to tell us about everything that's going on. We want our audience to know that the orchestra's next concert at the Hatch Shell is this Wednesday at 7 p.m. And of course, WCVB TV is the television sponsor for the Landmarks Orchestra. Up next, Romeo and Juliet on Boston Common, the free production getting underway this summer. And for more free summer fun, check out a whole month of free activities courtesy of the Highland Street Foundation. The offerings include a day at Fenway to free admission to the ICA.